Great. Oh my way! That's cool, right? This is your man Steve. If you can't see, I am sweating my off. Thank you, son. And thank you, viewers, for watching. Let's watch a little classified captures, why don't we? A man was driving home late at night when he suddenly had to stop. Right in the middle of the road, in the middle of nowhere, there was a figure standing in front of his car. He stepped out thinking it might be someone who needed help. The figure was covered head to toe in what looked like a robe, completely still. He reached out and grabbed it, trying to see the person underneath, but there was no one there. Just an empty robe standing upright in the road. He stumbled back in shock, and that's where the footage ends. No answers, no follow-up, just a moment. Something shaped like a person placed in the dark waiting for someone to stop. If you were in his position, would you have stepped out of the car? This Bigfoot footage was filmed on May the 10th this year, and it's one of the clearest we've seen in a while. A man noticed movement along the tree line, pulled out his camera, and captured what looks like an 8-foot-tall creature with a domed head moving through the trees. And at one point, it stops and looks directly back at him before continuing on. The way the fur moves, the arms, the overall build, none of it immediately looks like a costume or something fake. But here's the problem. AI has reached a level where even footage like this is hard to rule out. This is either a genuine sighting or something incredibly well made. And right now, there's no clear way to tell the difference. So what does it look like to you?
Muito rápido! Olha essa vista! Meu Deus do céu!
Oh my way, ay, 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 ay. You know what? Even though that's only on a screen, heights and anything to do with heights just, man, get me every single time. And yeah, I've had nightmares like this exactly. Have you?
Caraca, tá muito rápido! Olha essa vista! Meu Deus do céu! Vamos voar! Dá um preguiça ali.
Oh.
Nossa Senhora!
That's cool. And by the way, guys, I've double-checked this. And it's real. That's not AI, that actually happened.
Dá uma preguiça ali. Ai, não. Nossa Senhora.
Portal technology has always sounded like something people do not take seriously, even in the paranormal space. But with everything confirmed about UFOs this year, that line is starting to blur. This footage from a metro station has been around for a while, but it's worth another look. Right in the middle of a busy station, a glowing ring of light suddenly appears. It forms into a perfect circle, edges sparkling, opening up with no warning and no one causing it. People noticed instantly. Panic spread. Everyone starts running. And then just as suddenly, it closes on its own. For years, UFOs were dismissed until they were not. Now the question is, are we looking at the next thing people are gonna have to reconsider? The World Cup has everyone's attention right now, and that's often when strange moments slip through unnoticed. On June the 19th in France, someone captured something unusual on camera, and it's barely been discussed since. A streak of fire drops from the sky. It doesn't behave like a typical meteor or burning debris. The shape looks more controlled, almost flame-like, instead of the scattered breakup you'd expect on re-entry. Yet there's been no real public conversation about it, no major updates, no clear explanation. The focus in France is locked on football, and this sighting seems to have been completely pushed aside by the noise of the tournament. If you're in France and you saw this, or have any information on what it could be, it's worth speaking up. Something came down from the sky, and right now it's sitting in silence. Speaking of strange things in the sky, something unusual was recorded in Miami. Two orbs appear high above the city and move toward each other. As they meet, they merge into a single purple glow. Then, just as quickly, they split apart again. One turns orange, the other shifts to blue. After separating, both continue moving independently, weaving around each other in a way that feels almost coordinated. Some viewers argue it looks too clean, more like a visual effect than something physical in the sky. And that's a fair point. There's no confirmation either way. But if this is real, two separate lights merging and then splitting again is not something that fits neatly into known aircraft behavior or natural atmospheric activity. So what exactly was moving over Miami that night? Meanwhile, in Russia, storms rolled in and the sky turned a deep red. The clouds looked heavy, almost unnatural, lit from within by that unsettling glow. It feels like something out of a nightmare, similar to the Upside Down in Stranger Things, except this is real footage over a real city. Unlike the clips from France, it's not received much attention. The World Cup is dominating the news cycle, and everything else seems to be slipping through the cracks. We're not saying this is part of any deliberate distraction, but when you line up recent footage from places like France, Russia, Texas, Germany, and Brazil, all appearing within weeks of each other, the number of unusual sky events becomes hard to ignore. What exactly is happening above us right now? Have you ever seen an insect wearing what looks like shoes, not man-made, but naturally built into its body? This is the flag-footed bug, part of the Coridae family, and it's one of the most visually unusual insects you will ever see. What stands out are its hind legs. They have wide, flattened leaf-shaped extensions that look almost like tiny decorative shoes or paddles. Some species come in striking colors, deep oranges, greens, blacks, and yellows, sometimes with an almost metallic sheen depending on the light. It doesn't look like something you expect from nature at first glance. These leaf-like extensions are believed to help with communication between insects and may also make them appear larger to predators, acting as a form of visual defense. This next video was posted by Dustin Frazier, a paranormal content creator known for sharing unusual encounters. In this clip, he's inside a building when something appears to enter through a doorway. As he looks closer, the shape seems to mirror him, his own silhouette moving independently through the space. He presses himself against the wall, stays quiet, and tries to leave without drawing attention. A shrieking sound can be heard coming from the direction of the doorway. He eventually gets out, and it's clearly fine since he later posted the video. One thing that stands out is his calmness throughout. He stays unusually controlled for someone allegedly seeing a figure that looks exactly like him and hearing that sound nearby. Of course, people react to fear in different ways. Some freeze, some go quiet, but the composure here is enough to raise questions about whether this is real or carefully edited. So what do you think's going on here? Passengers on a plane noticed something outside the window and began filming. A saucer-shaped object appears in the distance, slowly moving toward the aircraft. For a moment, it seems to hold its course before drifting away again. What makes this clip stand out is the clarity. Unlike most UFO footage, this is filmed in daylight through a plane window with enough visibility to make out the shape more clearly than usual. That alone is why it's getting attention. Still, clarity does not equal confirmation, and even with better visibility, the question remains the same. Is this something physical in the sky, or something else entirely? What do you think? But unlike the last clip, yeah, give me a break. That's about as AI as it gets. It's not even clever.
Ish, menyusahkan betul. Tengah malam-malam datang seram orang.
Someone claims to have caught a goblin on the forest floor, and the footage is genuinely strange to watch. A tiny creature about the size of a pinky finger moves across the ground before noticing the camera and quickly running off. But what people keep focusing on is the perspective. The angle and movement suggest the camera is also at ground level, almost the same scale as the creature itself. It doesn't look like an adult filming from above. It looks like the camera is part of the same miniature space. That raises an obvious question: who or what is actually holding the camera? AI would explain it cleanly, and that's the most likely answer for many viewers. But, well, if it's not, then something else was down there filming something its own size, and, well, that's where the questions really begin. This woman in Appalachia has been hearing footsteps on a porch every night, usually between midnight and 1 a.m. She stepped outside multiple times to check, but there's never anyone there. So this time, she sets up a camera on the porch and goes live, hoping to finally capture what's been happening. But as soon as she leaves it recording, everything goes black. No video, no audio, just a blank feed for the entire duration. That same night, she hears nothing at all, which is unusual because the footsteps have been consistent before that. Some say it's a simple technique failure, a camera glitch, a dropped connection, nothing more. Others think something outside noticed the setup and made sure nothing was recorded. In Appalachia, where strange reports already feel unusually common, even missing footage starts to feel like part of the pattern. It's 2026, and anyone going into the woods searching for cryptids should know they might actually find something. A woman has been exploring forests at night in search of them. On June the 14th this year, she says she finally did. While scanning the trees with a camera and torch, she suddenly felt like something was behind her. She turned quickly. Between the trees stood a tall, dark figure with glowing eyes, the dome-shaped head, the heavy shoulders. The way it held itself in the dark all pointed to one thing. She saw it move and immediately left. A few days later, she returned to the same area to confirm what she'd seen. She found it again. This time, it was crouched lower, positioned off to the left of where she first spotted it, watching from a different angle. That was enough for her to leave and not return. Whatever was out there did not feel like it was passing through. It felt like it was staying. A group of friends were out in the middle of nowhere at night when the person holding the camera called out to a friend further ahead in the dark. He was barely visible, wearing a white shirt and bent over near a ditch. The friend responded saying it was him, but something about it didn't feel right, so the cameraman asked him to prove it. The voice kept replying, answering normally until everything changed. A loud bang cuts through the moment and it looks like something grabs him. The camera drops as the person filming runs forward with a stick to help, and then it ends. We never see what caused it, and there's no follow-up from the footage. Some think it could be something like a rake or crawler based on the setting and how the situation escalates. Others think it's staged, timed too perfectly to be real. Either way, the question stays the same. What was really out there with them?
Is that you?
Yeah, it is.
Prove it?
Prove it?
Yeah, prove it.
What do you mean, prove it?
I don't know.
I've been face down in a ditch for 2 hours. I was trying to save your buddy, okay? I don't think there's much left I have to prove. Okay,
Well,
if you could come
I
help,
don't-
that'd be nice. Okay, I don't know where this thing is or when it's gonna...
This is a real and confirmed incident from Orange County, Texas, and it's hard to overstate how disruptive it's been for the local community. A truck carrying around 400 beehives was making a delivery when it attempted a turn, flipped, and released every hive in the surrounding area. That means roughly 24 million honeybees are now spread across trees, buildings, and open spaces in the neighborhood. Authorities have placed the area under lockdown while specialists work to contain and recover what they can. Residents have been told to seal their homes and stay indoors. Each hive can hold more than 60,000 bees, which gives a sense of how quickly the situation escalated. Recovery efforts are ongoing, but estimates suggest only about 25% of the hives may survive, depending largely on whether the queen bee remains intact and able to rebuild colonies. It's a serious situation for both the people affected and the ecosystem these bees support. The response now is focused on safety and careful recovery as crews work through an unusually large-scale environment emergency. It feels like you guys aren't even trying anymore. Sorry. Did I say that out loud? I mean, you guys have to agree, this is just not it. It has CGI or AI written all over it, and I could be wrong though. It could be real footage zoomed in too many times. A man living at Thunder Mountain in Sedona, Arizona, set up an infrared security camera on his roof after noticing what he believed were portals opening above his house for several nights. He says nobody around him took it seriously, so he decided to document it. The camera then captured something unusual in the cloud layer. A distinct opening appears, and small orbs seem to move in and out of it before it closes again. The infrared footage gives it a stark, almost unnatural clarity that makes the scene harder to dismiss at first glance. Claims like this are extreme, but Sedona has long been associated with unusual atmospheric and geological phenomena, with visitors and researchers reporting strange experiences for decades. Still, even with that context, there's no confirmed scientific basis for interpreting things as a portal. Atmospheric effects, lighting distortions, and camera artifacts can all produce striking illusions under the right conditions. What the footage shows is something unusual. What it actually is remains unverified. If you've seen the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the character Leatherface was partly inspired by a real case. Ed Gein was a serial killer who operated in Wisconsin in the 1950s. What made his case infamous was not only the murders, but what investigators found in his home. He had used human remains to create furniture, bowls, lamps, and coverings for chairs, ordinary household objects made in a deeply disturbing way. His house became the center of everything, both the crimes and the evidence of them, all contained in one space. After his arrest and conviction, locals eventually burned the house down. It was a reaction driven by how disturbing the discovery was. Gein was later sentenced and spent the rest of his life in custody, dying in prison from illness years later. The house itself no longer exists. On April the 8th, an eclipse occurred that brought about a lot of speculation and theories, some of which were quite intriguing. One particular case that caught the attention of many was the footage that a man shared.
Listen to me. I'm sitting in my house, right? You see me make a video of somebody or something in the sun. It's a clear day. It's after April the 8th, after the eclipse, so I'm coming out here.
The video was captured on April the 12th, a few days after the eclipse, and featured the sun shining brightly. However, the peculiar aspect of the video was that behind the sun, a strange figure was visible. The figure appeared to be a person walking behind the sun. The video raised many questions and left people wondering what was going on up there. As soon as the footage was shared in the paranormal community, a lot of people dismissed it as a hoax and made fun of the whole situation. However, a few people were still pretty curious about what this could be. It was in the midst of this confusion that the theories started pouring in. One theorized that we may be in the fourth dimension. According to him, this has slowly been happening since 2020. One of the most popular theories, however, was that the whole thing was nothing more than an illusion created by Project Bluebeam. Those who pushed this theory had one lingering question. What could be the motive behind such a projection? This is a question no one had answers to, so Bluebeam Tech, a shift to the fourth dimension, and a possible hoax. What's your pick? What do you guys have in mind when you think about creation? Mostly people link creation to their religion. Most religions believe that there is a God who made all this. Others also believe in the Big Bang, evolution, and a whole lot. During an interview, this man gave an interesting take on how humans were created. Take a listen.
I saw one guy that was like, I referred to him as the keeper of the DNA. Somebody way up the ladder in the Galactic Command Center that had a vault of DNA. And so they'd go, we got a planet that's this far from the sun, the gravity is this, the oxygen, carbon dioxide, nitrogen level is this. And he could take DNA off the shelf and say, okay, we'll make a creature that will live there. And then they'd introduce it. And that was his job, to have the mixture for the right conditions, or to create the conditions on the planet, terraform the planet. That guy moved me when I was looking at him. I got real emotional, like, wow, this is very powerful. I'm really honored.
Did you hear that? So this man is a remote viewer. For those who may not be familiar with the term, a remote viewer is someone who practices remote viewing. Remote viewing is a technique that involves using extrasensory perception to gain information that is not accessible through normal sensory channels. It essentially allows a person to see or perceive things beyond the physical limitations of their body. To do this, the viewer uses various techniques to enter a relaxed or altered state of consciousness, such as meditation or visualization. On one such trip, this man says he meets a man in the Galactic Command Center who has a vault of DNA, including humans, and made us fit the resources that Earth has to provide. Now that is an interesting take on creation, unless of course you don't believe in the ESP stuff and think he's basically just daydreaming.
I saw one guy that was like, I referred to him as the keeper of the DNA.
Would you look at that? This creature was captured by some fishermen and brought ashore. It's such a rare sight that's why everyone is gathered around and taking footage. As you can see, this thing is very long and looks like a giant eel. Just look at its shiny silvery body and how flat it is. This creature is known as an oarfish. Oarfish are rarely seen by humans because they dwell in the deep ocean, often at depths of 200 to 1,000 meters. Their rare appearance near the surface have long been linked to folklore and suspicion. In some cultures, oarfish sightings are believed to be harbingers of natural disasters, particularly tsunamis and earthquakes. The reason behind this belief may have some scientific basis. Oarfish are thought to be particularly sensitive to seismic activity due to their habitat in the deep ocean. where tectonic movements are more pronounced. Some scientists speculate that changes in the ocean floor could displace these deep-dwelling creatures, causing them to come to the surface. However, this theory is still debated, and there isn't definitive scientific evidence to confirm a direct link between oarfish sightings and seismic events. Some say there are alien civilizations cloaked behind the clouds. Could that be what we are seeing? Well, Aaron believes that this is an actual city out there. I want to believe that you already know about the conspiracies about there being cities in the sky. Others who have seen this clip think that this is all just light casting shadows and creating an illusion. There's also the possibility that it might be the rare atmospheric phenomena called Fata Morgana, where light rays bend to produce a distorted or magnified image of distant objects. But still, the sight of towering buildings and intricate structures floating among the clouds makes one wonder, could there be more to our skies than we realize? What do you think? Are these cities a glimpse into the hidden world, or simply an interplay of light and shadow?
The car is in the middle of the lake. And there are people in the car.
Technology is advancing at an incredible pace, but who would have thought? Cars driving through lakes and rivers? Amazing, isn't it? The person filming the car was taking a hike when he chanced on a family in a car that was in the middle of a lake. At first, he thought the car was sinking until he noticed how calm the people in the car were. The car is called the Yangtze River N8, or simply U8, and it is an electric vehicle made in China. The U8 has a limited ability to sail on water, and this feature is primarily intended for emergencies such as flash floods or unexpected water crossings. The U8 is equipped with 4 water propellers, which allows it to move forward and steer in water. However, it's not recommended to use the car regularly in water, as it's primarily designed for land use. In fact, the U8 is actually a hybrid vehicle, which means it can run on both electricity and gasoline. It has a top speed of 60 kilometers an hour on land and 10 kilometers an hour on water. One of the comments in the comments section suggested that the water and lithium batteries could be dangerous, but in this case, it's highly unlikely. The U8 is designed with safety features to prevent water from getting into the battery compartment, and the battery is well protected. The U8 has undergone rigorous testing to ensure that it's safe to use in water. This is such a cool invention, don't you think?
Oh man, how cool it is. So what do you guys think?
Well, you may have seen it earlier tonight, a mysterious sight in the sky. In the last couple of hours, our newsroom has been flooded with messages asking,
Humans tend to be highly observant beings, especially when it comes to phenomena that we cannot explain. This is particularly true when it comes to sightings of unidentified flying objects, or UAPs. Recently, there was a lot of buzz around strange lights that were spotted in the sky over the United States. Many people were convinced that this was evidence of an alien spaceship, a UFO, or even a rocket launch. Naturally, this caused a great deal of concern and unease amongst the general public. To address these concerns, experts were called in to investigate the mysterious lights and provide an explanation. Thankfully, it was revealed that the lights were not what they seemed. They were the result of the launch of Starlink satellites by SpaceX. The strange appearance of the lights was due to a phenomenon known as the twilight effect. When a device is launched into space, it reflects sunlight from the other side of the atmosphere that still has light. This creates an ethereal, otherworldly appearance, particularly during twilight hours. So the strange light observed in the sky was not an alien spaceship or any other kind of unknown object. It was simply a satellite launched by SpaceX. Thankfully, we can rest easy knowing there was no cause for alarm or concern. This next one was taken in Texas. We're introduced to a strange entity moving in a rather bizarre manner. It leaps from the ground to the walls and then onto the floors, almost as if it were defying gravity. Watching the footage, it's clear how unsettling the sight is. The entity's movements are erratic and fluid, unlike anything seen before. Its form shifts and changes, making it difficult to define or describe. This mysterious creature seems to be something out of a science fiction story, and it's no wonder it has sparked so much curiosity and fear. People who have seen the footage are divided in their theories. Some suggest it's an alien creature, something not of this world. They point to its strange, unearthly movements and the way it seems to glide and leap effortlessly. Others believe it's a shape-shifting entity capable of altering its form to blend into its surroundings or evade capture. Some skeptics believe that this is edited footage. What are your thoughts? During this beautiful sunset, a man zoomed in and noticed something unusual. There were tiny objects flitting about eerily close to the sun. It's hard to say exactly what these tiny things are, but their presence so near the sun is certainly intriguing. Some people speculate that these could be a type of insect or even otherworldly creature like fairies. There are even those who believe these could be souls floating in the glow of the setting sun. Others think they might simply be insects that appear larger and closer due to the zoomed-in perspective of the camera. Skeptics, however, dismiss these theories, arguing that the footage is likely fake or digitally edited, seeing as it's highly improbable for any living creature to survive so close to the sun's intense heat and radiation. What do you think? While one type of light has been explained by experts to be a satellite launch into space, I doubt if that is the same explanation for this. These strange horizontal streaks of light were captured over Mauna Kea, an inactive volcano in Hawaii, on 28th of January 2023. They looked like green lasers coming from the sky onto the Earth. Many who saw it saw a Matrix reference and didn't hesitate to point it out. And there seems to be several people who have made claims of seeing these lights before. However, after much speculation, an explanation was finally given from one of the unlikeliest sources. Experts at the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan, which co-owns the camera, announced on Twitter that the source was a radar device of an orbiting satellite known as ICE-SAT-2, which is owned by NASA. These reports were soon refuted by NAOJ themselves again on the 6th of February. They apologized and said that based on the trajectory, the source of the laser beam was unlikely NASA. This was confirmed by Dr. Martino Antony Jr., a NASA scientist working on ICE-SAT-2 Atlas, and his colleague Dr. Alvaro Ivanov. They did a simulation and suggested that the potential source is the Chinese Daqi-1 AEMS satellite's ACDL instrument, Science Alert reported. Now, there's a lot we can say about this, but I'll leave it to you guys. What do you make of the information I've presented? Is there something fishy going on here, or could it just be information and misunderstanding between some of the top minds in the world? The creature looks like a frog, but with the ability to stand on two legs. Its movements are similar to a bird as it perks up every few seconds. At first glance, anyone would be lost as to what the creature truly is. After a little digging around, and with a lot of help from the comments section of the original post, I discovered that the creature bears a striking resemblance to the mythical Murloc from the Warcraft series. The Murloc is a fictional creature known for its amphibious nature, savage behavior, and primitive society. These creatures have bulbous bodies, large mouths with sharp fangs, and slimy skin. According to Wiki of the creature, they primarily inhabit coastal areas and come in a variety of colors, with some resembling frogs or fish, while others resemble red-eyed tree frogs, as is the case with the creature we are currently observing. In Warcraft lore, Murlocs are hostile creatures that often attack travelers and settlements in large groups. They're known for their distinctive gurgling sounds and are feared by many in the game's universe. Now, how does a fictional game character suddenly come to life in our own? No one really knows, unless, of course, the writer found the creatures, spoke to no one about them, and decided to use them for his own militaristic purposes. Either that or this clip is definitely CGI, but as I always state, until we have enough evidence, nothing can be disproved, despite how ridiculous it looks and sounds. What do you think about the whole thing, though? Share your thoughts in the comments section. In July 2024, a man walking late at night in Bern, Switzerland, captured peculiar footage that has left many viewers, including some members of my team, puzzled. The video shows a strange bright tubular light moving across the sky, constantly shifting its shape. The object seemed to defy explanation, neither resembling a projection, orb, or firework. Its motion appeared deliberate, yet entirely enigmatic. What makes this sighting even more baffling is the absence of any known technology or atmospheric phenomenon that could explain its behavior. Could this be an extraterrestrial craft, an unidentified natural phenomenon, or something else entirely? Late one night, a man was driving home and decided to take a shortcut along a secluded path. As he navigated the dimly lit road, something in the distance caught his eye, forcing him to stop the car abruptly. Leaving his headlights on, he began recording what unfolded before him. The video reveals a man lying flat on his back in the middle of the path, his body shifting slightly to indicate he was alive. Looming over him was a dark, towering figure that defied easy explanation. Its movements were deliberate, yet strange, its form unsettlingly human. The creature was like a dark shadow that didn't resemble any known animal or person. What's even eerier is that it seemed completely unfazed by the car's presence, continuing to move around the person on the ground. The man in the car was frozen by the bizarre sight and made no move to intervene. What could this possibly be? If you thought a car on water was amazing, wait till you see this. Imagine a bus that could run on a nuclear reactor. That's exactly what this bus is. But as much as I wouldn't want to burst your bubble, the Cyclops is a fictional vehicle made from the 1976 movie The Big Bus, and that's all there is to it. This remarkable mode of transport was designed to travel across the country without ever needing to stop for fuel. Just think about the possibilities. The Cyclops could have changed the way we travel forever with its revolutionary technology, if it were real. A nuclear-powered bus would have been a game-changer in the transportation industry, offering a cleaner and more efficient way to travel. Unfortunately, the Cyclops only exists in the world of fiction. Nevertheless, it's fascinating to think about what could have been if this incredible vehicle was made reality. Perhaps someday, someone will create a real-life Cyclops that can revolutionize the way we travel. Still on strange water sightings, we've got another one, but this time in the waters of Mexico. This spectacle was captured by a couple who were walking on a boardwalk by the shores of Veracruz. What makes this incident more peculiar is that residents reported that they wasn't just the first time this had happened, making it even more intriguing. It's highly unusual if this is a natural disaster, as it is not naturally possible for such an event to occur. A whirlpool appearing and disappearing at will. Could we be looking at some sort of portal or some sort of scientific experiment going on in broad daylight? It's possible that this couple happened to be at the location at the exact same time when the entity responsible for this passage opened it. It looks like a scene from a sci-fi movie. A woman came home from work ready to unwind when she was greeted by something chilling. As she stepped into her apartment, she noticed the head and arm of what appeared to be a child sticking out from behind the wall near the corner of the doorway. She quickly rushed over to check, but when she looked behind the wall, there was nothing there. What makes this even more unsettling is that she lives alone. The footage does not appear to be edited, adding to the eerie authenticity of the encounter. Understandably, she was deeply shaken. A child seemingly appearing and vanishing in her apartment is enough to make anyone question reality. The big question remains, was this an entity manifesting as a child, or could it be the spirit of an actual child? A couple hiking at Mount St. Helens in Washington encountered a chilling experience deep in the woods. They were walking along a path surrounded by towering trees, and they suddenly became the targets of rocks being hurled in their direction. They immediately decided to retreat, but not before the husband snapped a few pictures, hoping to identify the source of the attack. When reviewing the images, the couple found something shocking. Hidden among the trees on the left side of the trail was a massive figure crouched low behind some plants. The creature appeared to have a domed head, broad shoulders, and a muscular frame. Its imposing size and stance made it clear this wasn't an ordinary animal. Given the location and the aggressive behavior, some speculate this might have been a Bigfoot defending its territory. The photos, though grainy and distant, undeniably show a figure that doesn't match any known wildlife in the area. The owner of a mechanical shop was reviewing his surveillance camera feed when he noticed one of his workers standing outside and talking to thin air. The worker appeared to be having an intense conversation, which understandably made the owner feel uneasy. So he decided to call the worker to find out what was happening.
Estoy revisando por la cámara del taller y este maestro está hablando solo. Le voy a preguntar por cámara qué está haciendo. ¿Aló? Oye, disculpa, pero ¿con quién estás hablando? ¿Tú me estás hablando del accidente de anoche?
Claro.
Juan, me estáis hueveando, ¿cierto?
No, pues estoy con Don Carlos aquí, pues.
Es que no estáis hablando con nadie, viejo.
No puede ser, pues yo tengo el caballero aquí al frente mío, pues.
No estás hablando con nadie, Juan, y ayer los que chocaron murieron todos. Juan, no estás con nadie. Sube y ven a ver las cámaras. Tengo todo grabado.
Yes, you heard that. The worker said he was talking to a customer who had an accident the previous night. At first, he even thought it was a prank, but the employee mentioning the accident made him realize that the person from the accident had died. After watching the video, I was curious and investigated whether anyone else had experienced something similar. It turns out a number of people have. Take a look at this confession. I believe it because the same thing happened to me in a cemetery. I was visiting my sister's grave who died at 16 years old. The cemetery was empty. Then all of a sudden, a man dressed in a suit and tie appeared out of nowhere. He looked alive, nothing spooky about him, and he told me he worked for the church and took care of the cemetery. We spoke about my sister's grave and her passing. I found out later that the man was indeed a ghost that many knew about. Another person stated, had this happened to a friend of mine on camera outside of the Sears automotive section, said on the team radio that he'd run into a lost little girl needing to find her family. He walked from outside to the inside to the security area, the whole time holding his arm and hand out like he was holding the hand of a child. When he got to the security office, he told her to have a seat while the security team showed him some footage. Beyond shocked, he turned around to notice the child had completely vanished. He quit his job a few weeks later. These accounts are both chilling. While some may be skeptical, these stories are hard to ignore. What do you make of it? The concept of living in a matrix or a simulation has long been a matter of fascination for many people. Questions arise, such as who is controlling this matrix? Is it real or just a figment of our imagination? Check out an interview with Billy Carson on a podcast about the Matrix.
We're in a simulation, and you said they just found evidence of it?
As they began to learn through the LHC, the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland, colliding these atoms and particles together, they discovered we're living in a matrix. And then Professor James Gates took it another level and said, wow, we are living in a matrix because he discovered these symbols by the Dogons called Adinkra codes. And these Adinkra codes, when you take them from flat print and take them into three-dimensional objects, they're mathematical codes, but not any type of mathematical code. They're error-correcting codes. The same type that runs search engines and web browsers. And that is what he discovered is running the ether of space-time itself. So we have his expert analysis with his team that he put together, that we're living inside of a matrix running on error-correcting codes like our search engines and web browsers. We have the LHC confirming that we're living in a light matrix. And we also have then the double slit experiment confirming in superposition. Everything exists in multiple realities as a wave of potentials until a conscious observer collapses it into solid material.
So Carson mentions that the Large Hadron Collider, LHC, in Switzerland has confirmed the existence of a light matrix in which we are living. Moreover, the double-slit experiment also supports the idea of living in a matrix. According to him, Professor James Gates also confirms that the Adinkra codes could be used to prove this theory. Now, these sound like bold claims, but anyone who knows who Billy Carson is won't be too surprised. After all, he's the founder and CEO of Forbidden Knowledge, Inc., and the best-selling author of The Compendium of the Emerald Tablets and Woke Doesn't Mean Broke. Is there some credibility to what he's saying, though? Well, I'll leave that up to you to decide.
With his team that he put together, that we're living inside of a matrix running on error-correcting codes like our search engines and web browsers. We have the LHC confirming that we're living in a light matrix. And we also have then the double slit experiment confirming in...
If you think you're having a bad day, look at this.
We're gonna try it. You ready? Are you gonna be able to catch this? Oh no. Oh, that was... Okay.
On live TV, that's great.
I'm so sorry, buddy. Clearly, I wasn't meant to be a baseball or a softball player, so we're gonna get him a little. That did not go as planned.
This reporter was out in the field, supposed to throw a ball as part of her segment, but luck was not on her side. A man nearby was holding a little boy in his arms, and as she threw the ball, it hit the boy right in the face. While she was live on air, reporting the unexpected collision caught everyone off guard. The reporter's face turned pale as she realized what had happened. The little boy seemed startled, but was thankfully unharmed. The man holding him quickly comforted the boy, while the reporter rushed over to apologize profusely. The whole incident, captured on live TV, became a viral moment, reminding us that even the best laid plans can go hilariously wrong.
We're gonna try it. You ready? Are you gonna be able to catch this? Oh no. Oh, that was... Okay.
On live TV, that's great.
I'm so sorry, buddy. Clearly, I wasn't meant to be a baseball or a softball player, so we're gonna get him a little. That did not go as planned.
A man had his last moments with his bedridden father at home, and he believes he caught his father's soul on camera. Take a look.
This is a video of the last few minutes of Dad's life. Mom had been with him throughout the night and heard the death rattle, but she went on to bed, and suddenly I woke up at 6 o'clock. talked to Mom and said, I think it's the very end. I sat down with him and held his hand, and you can hear the death rattle.
His mother had been watching over his father throughout the night, but went back to bed early in the morning. The man woke up around 6 a.m. when he heard the death rattles from his father. Recognizing the sound, he knew these were the final moments with his father, so he hurried to his room and began to sing Amazing Grace, a song that had always been meaningful to his father. As he held his father's hand, cherishing these last precious moments, he felt an overwhelming wave of emotion. A moment later, his father took his last breath. Just then, the man noticed something extraordinary. A small orb of light appeared, seemingly emerging from his father's body. It hovered for a brief moment before ascending and vanishing. The man was stunned and filled with a profound sense of peace and awe. He believes that he just witnessed his father's soul moving up to the heavens. What are your thoughts? Could this be a genuine capture of a soul departing, or is it just a trick of the light? While we ponder the reality of that video, we still have things to figure out, like this footage, for instance.
We're either being surrounded by friggin' UFOs or the Coast Guard. I want us in. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 lights we see there. They've been coming on. They were 7 lights.
In this intriguing story, a fisherman's adventure at sea took an unexpected turn when he captured some mysterious footage on his camcorder. The footage shows the beautiful orange horizon as the sun sets, and the camera pans to the distance where a red light is seen. The fisherman then zooms in to capture a closer view, but the footage becomes shaky and unsteady. Suddenly, the camera cuts to a view of more than a dozen of these red lights in the sky, which the fisherman claims to be UFOs that have been trailing his boat for a while. While this man's account of the event is fascinating, the footage is not clear enough to identify what those lights were. Despite the fisherman's claims, some were skeptical about the encounter. Some even registered their frustration about the clip being from afar. One even suggested that they should have moved closer to allow the ships to get near enough for a good shot of the ship. That has me wondering, in what world is that logical?
The state of Florida looked up into the air this morning to see a bright light streaking across the dark sky. Was it a plane?
Still on strange lights in the sky, we visit Florida, where a streak of light was seen in the night sky. It was a bright orb in the center with a beam of light diverging into the sky. It was quite the spectacle that also sparked a lot of frenzy and chaos among the residents. Once again, experts came to clarify that this was just a rocket being launched. However, people were not very convinced, and this is what they had to say. Many called it fake news. The majority were convinced that this could all be covered up for something nefarious going on there. One comment, however, got my attention, and it read, "Aren't rockets supposed to fly vertically, not horizontally?" Now, that's a good question, so I looked it up, and it turns out, not really. This is because launching vertically allows rockets to efficiently escape Earth's atmosphere, which requires a significant amount of thrust. However, once a rocket reaches a certain altitude and velocity, it can adjust its trajectory to move horizontally if that's what the mission requires. Another person argued that if there was indeed a rocket launch, there would have been some form of announcement. We can't confirm if there was or not, but what do you guys make of these theories and speculation? Next, we've got haunting footage. A woman has a toddler to whom she bought a doll. The doll had a button and used a battery, and it could sing whenever you pressed the button, only when the button is pressed. One night, the mother was asleep when she was woken up by the sound of the doll singing at 3 a.m. The doll was on the floor by the foot of the bed. This incident immediately sent chills down her spine. The doll singing was supposed to be activated only by pressing the button, and there was no one else in the room to press it. How could this be happening? Was it a malfunction, or was there something more sinister at play? By now, we all know about the assassination attempt on Trump. But did you know that a few months before the incident, a man predicted it and got every single detail right, from the exact area where he got hurt to his crouching down?
I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum. And I saw he fell to his knees during this time frame, and he started worshiping the Lord. He got radically born again during this time frame.
This man is known as Prophet Brandon Biggs. He made the prediction on March the 14th, 2024, exactly 4 months before the incident. He claimed he had a supernatural visitation from God and warned that there was more to come upon the United States. Prophet Biggs described the incident with eerie precision. He detailed the time, the location, and even the sequence of events, including Trump's reactions and movements. When the attack happened, it played out exactly as he had foreseen, which sent shockwaves through those who had heard his prophecy. In his prophetic message, Biggs also spoke of further turmoil and changes that would befall the United States, suggesting that the assassination attempt was just the beginning of a series of significant events. Such accurate predictions inevitably raise questions and spark debates. Could Brandon Biggs be a true prophet receiving divine messages? Or is there another explanation for his foresight?
I saw Trump rising up, and then I saw an attempt on his life. This bullet flew by his ear, and it came so close to his head that it busted his eardrum.
What do you see when you watch this clip? For many, it might be a reptile or dinosaur-looking thing, but for those in the Scottish Highlands, this might just be the real-life footage of the Loch Ness Monster. For those unfamiliar with it, the elusive creature, often described as a serpent or dragon-like beast, is said to inhabit the deep, murky waters of Scotland's Loch Ness, the largest freshwater lake in the British Isles. Legends and folklore surrounding the existence of this mysterious creature have been passed down through generations of Scottish culture, with sightings and encounters dating back to ancient times. In fact, the first written account of a sighting of the Loch Ness Monster dates back to the year 565 AD, when a missionary named St. Columba claimed to have seen a water beast in the lake. Since then, countless reports and sightings have been recorded, with witnesses describing the creature as having a long serpentine body, a large head, and often a pair of humps protruding from the water. Reverting to the clip, a number of individuals who saw it stated there was no way it could be real. An example is this comment. The user points out something critical they observed. The creature's front fins don't disturb the water. I didn't notice it before, but after going back to watch the clip, I must say that it does look like a hot knife going through butter. It almost looks unreal. If the concerns of the commentator are to be believed, then this certainly is a reason to believe that the clip might indeed be doctored or simply put a CGI creation. But then again, perhaps my skill in cinematography might be lacking. Has this been the only sighting? Well, not exactly. In April of 1933, a couple reported seeing an enormous creature crossing the road in front of their car near the loch. This sighting sparked widespread media attention, and soon afterward, numerous additional sightings, including eyewitness accounts, photographs, and alleged film footage purported to show the creature, were reported. In the decades that followed, numerous scientific expeditions and investigations were launched to study the phenomenon. Various methods were used, including sonar surveys, underwater photography, and DNA analysis of the loch's waters. While some studies yielded inconclusive results, others suggested that the reported sightings could be attributed to natural phenomena or misidentification of known animals. Despite this, the legend of the Loch Ness Monster continues to captivate the public's imagination, and the mystery surrounding it remains unsolved. Now, what do we have here? A dry, dead fish is brought back to life by a drop of water. What sorcery is this? Ladies and gentlemen, introducing the zombie fish. Not zombie in the way of eating brains, of course, but the ability to spring back to life. This fish is what many call the suckermouth catfish or pleco. These fish are found in ponds and rivers in South America and have an incredible ability to survive in extreme conditions. When their natural habitat dries up, they bury themselves in the mud and go into a state of suspended animation known as aestivation. During this period, they can survive without water or food for several months. Their metabolism slows down to the point where they require very little oxygen and their body becomes dehydrated, as you can see in this footage. But they don't die. When the rains come and their habitat is reflooded, the fish rehydrate and come back to life. In this case, the fish was responding to the drops of water being poured on it. It might seem like a miraculous resurrection, but it's just their fantastic ability to survive extreme conditions. Do you notice anything odd and unusual about this clip? Anything at all? No? Well, those clouds don't look normal, do they? If it was just one, I could think of pareidolia or some other odd coincidence, but take a look at how they're consistently spaced across the sky. It's almost as though they're in some sort of formation or have been organized to be like that. The more I thought about the capture, the more I felt these things looked like UFOs. Aaron shared the same view, and once he was told it was captured in Mexico, he was certain that it had to be the case. He thinks they may be saucers cloaked as clouds and hiding. Well, you've seen the clip, so what do you also think? A man was out by the water's edge when he captured something extraordinary swimming by. The footage shows a figure with long black hair and a shimmering fish-like tail moving gracefully through the water. The creature appeared unaware of the man sitting nearby, gliding away as though it belonged to another realm entirely. Could this be a mermaid? While mermaids are often dismissed as mythical beings from fairy tales, recent encounters and sightings from around the world have reignited debates about their existence. With so many accounts surfacing, it's hard not to wonder if there could be some truth to these age-old legends. What are your thoughts? The vast and mysterious ocean is considered one of the largest unexplored territories on Earth and is home to a plethora of conspiracies and creatures that remain unknown to man. One of the most popular and captivating mythical beings that the ocean is said to host is the mermaid. These magical creatures are often depicted with the upper bodies of humans and the lower bodies of fish and have been a part of human folklore for centuries. Puerto Rico, a beautiful coastal area, is no exception to this. It has its collection of mermaid legends and folklore which have been passed down through generations. Known as sirenas in Spanish, these stories may vary across different regions and communities, but the allure of mermaids remains a prominent feature of Puerto Rican folklore. In this footage, a group of people who were out fishing had an extraordinary experience. As they were on the surface, they noticed a blue glow in the water close to their boat. The glow followed them for a while before they noticed the silhouette of a human-like creature in the water. Although this sighting was different from the unusual mermaid sightings, it has left many people convinced it's the real deal. Some even suspect it might be alien. But what do you think? The sky has been a subject of fascination for humans for centuries. Despite the numerous sightings of strange objects in the sky, there are still some more sightings that continue to get viewers in a frenzy. Take a look at this particular one. This peculiar cloud with flashing lights was spotted in North Philadelphia. The unusual mass descended from the sky and vanished behind a house in the vicinity. That's definitely not how clouds are supposed to act, and the sighting quickly gained a lot of attention and even made it to Fox and ABC News. It, however, appears that this was not the first time people had seen this. Many people in the comments section also testified to seeing this strange cloud falling out of the sky at other times within the same area. There were even some from other parts of the world who claimed to have seen it in their regions too. Others had a range of opinions about what this could be. One commenter suggested that this was a drone cloaked as a cloud. Another commenter was convinced that this was a UFO. He even made a subtle argument that the flashing lights were evidence of extraterrestrial activity, and countless others agreed with him. Despite the evidence and buzz around it, a number of individuals in the paranormal community think the whole thing is a hoax meant to throw the community in disarray. You've seen the clip yourself. What do you think? Back in 1951, William Albee introduced a groundbreaking invention that revolutionized the concept of vehicle safety and mobility. Behold, the Rolligan tires. These innovative tires were designed with low-pressure technology which evenly distributed the vehicle's weight, making them incredibly versatile. They could traverse virtually any terrain with ease, from soft sand to rugged surfaces. What made them truly remarkable, however, was their ability to move over fragile objects or even humans without causing harm. The genius of the Rolligan tire lay in its ability to cushion the weight of heavy vehicles, ensuring that whatever was beneath it remained intact. While these tires never became mainstream, their design demonstrated incredible potential for improving safety and adaptability in vehicles. Still looking to the skies, we've got this capture that set members of the paranormal community up in arms against each other. Do you have any idea of what this is or what we're looking at? No? Well, the individual who shared this clip allegedly came across the site one evening. He looked up and saw some weird figures flying in the sky. Worried and a little bit confused, he started to record, hoping to capture enough evidence of what he had seen. The evidence is what you see on your screens, and everyone who's seen it believes he might be dealing with a gargoyle or something along those lines. Looking at it, at first glance, well, I thought so too, but after watching it over and over, I noticed something odd about the clip. The wings of the creature, they don't flap in a natural way. Don't come at me here, okay? But it's almost as though the whole thing is CGI and not necessarily real. I know I sound like a Julius right now, but let's hear what you guys think about the whole thing. Human beings are known for their insatiable curiosity, and although there is a popular saying that goes, "Curiosity killed the cat," it seems that people often fail to abide by this cautionary advice. In this particular instance, there is video footage that showcases this curiosity, where a man enters a glass structure in the snow to explore. If the video is here, then you know that it didn't go so well. Shortly after, a polar bear approaches the structure to inspect it. The bear is not merely observing, but also clawing and attempting to bite through the glass to get to the man inside. However, to everyone's surprise, the man appears to be unfazed by the bear's behavior and continues to remain inside the glass structure. One comment that caught my attention read, "Lunchbox isn't opening." My favorite comment at the end of the day is this particular one. I mean, what if? In this next clip, a bird farmer is seen entering the enclosure of her birds to check up on and possibly feed them. As she steps inside, all the birds start running around, chirping and flapping their wings. Suddenly, something strange happens. All the birds freeze in place as if time has stopped. The only bird that remains unfazed is the one in the middle, who continues to peck at the food in front of it. Just look at that, all frozen in time. But could this be a glitch in the Matrix, or what do you think? Let's see what people had to say about it. There was one common explanation between people, and that is, this is a normal thing among birds to be frozen in time when they sense danger. According to experts, when birds sense a threat, they go into a state of shock, also known as tonic immobility. This response is a survival mechanism that helps them avoid being detected by predators who are less likely to attack prey that appears to be dead. In the case of the bird farmer, it's possible that the sudden appearance of their owner caused the birds to react this way. However, it's also possible that they were reacting to something else entirely, such as a loud noise, a sudden movement, or even a predator. We can't, however, state with certainty what it is without any more evidence. On a boat ride, someone came across a massive tree trunk floating in the water. Although the water isn't very deep, this trunk is located in the middle of the water body. The presence of such a tree suggests that this area was once land that has since been covered by water. Discoveries like these are fascinating because they reveal stories about the Earth's evolving landscape. This phenomenon is seen worldwide. For instance, in the United States, dam construction has created reservoirs and lakes that have submerged entire forests, resulting in ghost forests, where tree trunks rise eerily above the water's surface. Similarly, rising sea levels and shifting river dynamics can transform landscapes, leaving behind underwater relics of once forested areas. What do you think could have caused this tree to end up submerged? Have you encountered any similar natural anomalies? A homeowner woke up in the middle of the night to get a drink of water when he noticed something terrifying. There was an alien-looking creature lurking behind the door. It had a large, pale head and big black eyes resembling the classic depiction of a gray alien. The sight was so unsettling that he quickly grabbed his phone and snapped a photo. The creature seemed to be watching him intently, its unblinking eyes reflecting the dim light of the kitchen. The homeowner described feeling a chill down his spine as he stood frozen in place, staring at this otherworldly being. He managed to quietly close the door and retreat to his bedroom, where he locked the door and stayed up the rest of the night, too scared to sleep. The next morning, he reviewed the photo and showed it to a few friends who were equally shocked and puzzled. At least, that's his side of the story. There are some who think the whole thing was planned and executed. What do you think, though? Could this be genuine first contact, or are we dealing with a bunch of fraudsters seeking their 5 minutes of fame?
You say hi? No? You don't want to say hi? What was that?
A woman and her child were walking on a trail when they heard a loud shriek that seems to come out of nowhere. The child, who was sitting on the ground, even heard it and began to crawl away. In another encounter, a hiker on a lonely trail heard a strange shrieking sound that started from a distance but kept getting closer.
And I keep hearing that same scream. Here it is again.
The suspected cryptid? The Skinwalker. For those who don't know, Skinwalkers are a fascinating and mysterious part of Navajo legend that has captured the imagination of people worldwide. These creatures are known for their mischievous behavior and their ability to transform into any animal they desire. They're also known to be dangerous, and it's said that they can cause harm to those who cross their path. According to Navajo tradition, the only way to kill a Skinwalker is with a bullet dipped in white ash. Despite their fictional origins, many people believe that skinwalkers are real, and there have been numerous sightings and encounters reported throughout the years. Some people claim to have heard strange sounds in the woods, such as loud shrieks and eerie howls that they believe are the calls of skinwalkers. Others have reported seeing shadowy figures lurking in the darkness or even encountering animals that seem to possess an uncanny intelligence and an otherworldly aura. While some people are convinced that these encounters are proof of the existence of skinwalkers, others are more skeptical. Some argue that the sounds captured on camera could be the calls of ordinary animals or even fake sounds created to attract attention.
It's definitely not a bird or some kind of animal.
Clones have been one of the most talked about conspiracies when it comes to government cover-ups. It's a popular belief among the masses that the government creates clones of people in high positions for reasons unknown to the public. Additionally, there are also claims that celebrities are cloned as well. Now, I know you might have come across this footage several times, but let's revisit it. For those who don't know anything about it, this was taken during Katy Perry's concert in Las Vegas, Nevada. In the clip, we can see that she's on stage staring at her audience while they cheered. This iconic moment is, however, interrupted by her eyes glitching. One began to open and close uncontrollably like you typically see with a broken Barbie doll. Realizing this, she touched her temple ever so slightly and the twitching stopped. This is not normal human function, and people had a lot to say about it. While many insisted she had to be a clone, there were some who thought she might be unwell. One user pointed out the possibility of stroke, but a lot more subscribed to the idea of her being a clone of the original. Now, what do you make of it? Was this a genuine case of human cloning, or is this something else entirely?
Make even more noise for my band.
A woman decided to give a stray cat a home, believing she was doing a good deed. However, she was unprepared for the bizarre events that followed. First, let's take a closer look at the cat. It has an uncanny human-like face. Although it's covered in fur and is cat-sized, its facial features are disturbingly human. The woman noticed right away that this feline was different from any other cat she'd ever seen. It never mewed or played with her, adding to its eerie presence in her home. Things took an even stranger turn when the woman started experiencing unusual phenomena. She reported having strange, vivid dreams that were unlike anything she'd ever experienced before. These dreams were often unsettling, filled with bizarre imagery and inexplicable feelings. Moreover, she claimed to have spotted strange alien-like creatures around her home since the cat arrived. These sightings were brief and often happened at night, but they left her feeling uneasy and watched. The connection between the cat and these experiences seemed too strong to ignore. So what could this be? This article has been circulating for a while, stirring up quite a buzz with its intriguing headline: Are aliens behind Microsoft outage? Pentagon tracks 650 UFO sightings and Congress subcommittee discusses aliens. What's going on here? First, the Microsoft outage. Some conspiracy theorists have speculated that aliens could be behind it. The tech giant experienced significant disruption, and while it's easy to point to technical issues or cyber attacks, the timing has fueled speculation, especially given the rising number of UFO sightings. Speaking of UFO sightings, the Pentagon has indeed been tracking an increasing number of unidentified aerial phenomena. The report states that they're currently investigating 650 such sightings, which is a substantial uptick from previous years. This surge in sightings has led to more public and government interest in the topic. To add more fuel to the fire, a congressional subcommittee has recently held discussions about the existence of extraterrestrial life and the potential implications for national security. High-profile witnesses and experts have been called to testify, adding credibility to the conversation. But what does this all mean? Are we truly on the brink of confirming extraterrestrial contact, or are we just seeing a series of unrelated events being woven into a tantalizing narrative? It's hard to say for sure, but one thing is certain: the interest in UFOs and potential alien encounters is at an all-time high.
Está sin pila. Y empezó a funcionar cuando lo empecé a tocar. ¿Cierto?
A group of visitors at a cemetery went to honor their loved ones when they stumbled upon this. It's a toy horse on one of the memorials, and to their surprise, it was making galloping sounds and neighing. The man behind the camera picked up the toy and turned it over, only to discover it had no batteries inside. A toy functioning without batteries is eerie enough, but the fact that this happened in a cemetery makes it even more eerie. Could this be a case of a possessed object, perhaps influenced by the energy of the departed? While skeptics argue there's a logical explanation, the setting and circumstances make it hard to dismiss. What do you think?
Está sin pila. Y empezó a funcionar cuando lo empecé a tocar. ¿Cierto?
Let's take a look at this peculiar footage. A woman in China stepped out of her home one foggy morning and decided to film the misty surroundings. As she panned a camera across the sky, she caught something unusual: this bright patch in the cloudy sky. This wasn't just an ordinary clearing. The brightness appeared almost as if it was emanating from something hidden behind the clouds. The rest of the sky was overcast except for that strange glowing patch. Most people are saying that this could be evidence of something extraterrestrial. While strange occurrences in the sky are often associated with the US, it seems other parts of the world are experiencing their own mysteries. What say you?
What the hell is that? Did you see that?
It's going around.
Next, we've got this clip from a man who captured something strange in the sky during sundown. Among the clouds was a mysterious, perfectly round object glowing with an intense, luminous orange light. The sphere seemed to hover in the blue sky, its brilliance standing out against the fading sunlight. It wasn't the sun, as sunset was happening on the horizon, nor could it be the moon due to its size and color. What could this glowing sphere be? Could it be a rare atmospheric phenomenon like ball lightning or sundog? Or could it be something entirely different, possibly even unexplained? What are your thoughts on this?
What the hell is that? Did you see that?
It's going around.
A woman shared a chilling post on social media, accompanied by images of a bizarre discovery she made in the woods. Hanging from a tree branch, she spotted what appeared to be the dried remains of a small chicken. The head was perched on the branch while the rest of the body dangled below. A peculiar figure measured about 5 inches in length. So she took several pictures and then set a camera down to get a closer look. But when she turned back, the strange thing had vanished without a trace. To make things even stranger, she revealed that upon closer inspection, it wasn't a bird at all. The figure was constructed from tree bark and twigs, yet its eerie resemblance to a chicken was uncanny. This raises unsettling questions. Was it some sort of ritual object or voodoo doll meant to convey a sinister message? Or could it have been an elaborate prank or even a natural phenomenon with an eerie twist? What do you think this could have been, and how did it disappear so suddenly? Still on the strange sounds, a woman from Kansas shared this intriguing video. She'd gone into a barn when she noticed something unusual. The metal bars were vibrating as though something underground was causing the entire structure to shake. This incident draws an eerie parallel to the strange underground noises reported in Kentucky. Could these events be connected? Are there secret systems or tunnels being constructed below our feet? It's hard to say, but there are some who think that's the case. You've seen both clips, so what do you think?
That's a hiker. No, it's not, bro. That's not a person.
That's way bigger than a hiker, bro.
Bro, that's not. Oh, it just disappeared. What the?
Just go, bro.
A group of friends noticed some unusual motion on a nearby mountain slope while hanging out at a home. Upon closer look, they saw what appeared to be a large humanoid figure walking steadily up the mountain. But just as they tried to make sense of it, the figure vanished into thin air. At first, they assumed it was just a hiker making their way up the slope, but the sudden disappearance left them baffled. While the idea of something supernatural or otherworldly is intriguing, let's be honest, this footage screams fake. The vanishing act looks like it was edited. In fact, Julius walked in and said, "I know an Adobe edit when I see one." Either way, what do you think?
Person. That's way bigger than a fucking hiker, bro.
Bro, that's not. Oh, it just disappeared. What the?
Just go, bro.
Nope.
Bueno, pues ya nos quedamos un rato aquí esperando y efectivamente se empieza a escuchar como si viniera de acá, de lo lejos, y no se ve nada, o sea, no hay nada, no viene nada, y se escucha.
In Santa Rosa, there's a fascinating phenomenon known as the ghost train. Over the years, many have claimed to have witnessed it, and curious thrill seekers often visit the area to experience it firsthand. It's said that at exactly 10 p.m., if you're near the tracks, you'll hear the unmistakable sounds of a train passing by, its horn blaring and wheels screeching against the rails. Yet, when you look, there's no physical train in sight. This woman decided to test this eerie claim and captured something astonishing. In her footage, you can clearly hear the train sounds, but when you look closely, it's as if an invisible train is moving through the area, its presence hinted at by subtle disturbances and eerie reflections. This phenomenon is both chilling and intriguing. Is it the residual energy of a train that once traveled these tracks, or could it be an echo of the past playing on a loop in time? Have you ever experienced something like this? And if you've been to Santa Rosa, did you witness the ghost train yourself?
Oh, whoa.
What is that?
Here we have a peculiar sighting captured by a resident in the middle of the night. The footage shows an oddly shaped object in the sky. What makes this sight especially bizarre is the object doesn't appear tangible. It looks more like a beam of light shaped like some sort of missile or elongated form, though it's hard to define exactly what it is. What stands out is the pulsing light within it, giving the impression of energy moving or shifting within the structure. It's difficult to determine if this is a solid object or some kind of energy phenomenon. Some suggest it could be a plasma formation, an unidentified aerial phenomenon, or UAP for short, or even some kind of experimental technology. But what do you think this could be?
Oh, whoa.
What is that?
A man was jolted awake in the middle of the night by his dog howling loudly, which was unlike his dog. So he checked his security footage to see what might have triggered the commotion. What he saw was unsettling. In the darkness, a robed figure appeared, gliding eerily across his yard toward the corner of the house. The figure seemed to have a ghostly aura, and the robe it wore flowed as though caught in a strong breeze despite the stillness of the night. It's well known the animals, especially dogs, have heightened senses and are believed to perceive things humans cannot. This howling, which the man heard clearly in the footage, is often associated with the presence of spirits or otherworldly entities. The question is, what was this spectral figure? A family traveling through Quebec, Canada, had an unexpected and eerie encounter on the roadside. They spotted a large moose grazing peacefully near the trees, but as they watched, their attention shifted to something more unsettling among the foliage. In the shadows behind the moose, they noticed a pale humanoid figure crouching low to the ground. It seemed fixated on the moose, its movements slow and deliberate, almost as if it was stalking. However, this creature didn't resemble a typical predator. Its gaunt, otherworldly appearance resembled the infamous rake. The footage left the family disturbed as the pale figure moved closer to the moose. Unlike a lot of rake footage, something tells me this is not a hoax. Am I becoming sentimental, or are we onto something? We all remember the alien incident that took place back in 2023, where a group of teenage boys claimed to have seen alien creatures walking about the area. While some dismissed their story, perhaps there might be some truth to their claims. I came across this footage from as far back as 2019, taken outside a mall. In the video, there is a strangely shaped craft flying over the area. It looks like a classic flying saucer with lights around it quietly gliding by. Aaron believes that this is evidence that there is indeed alien activity out there in Miami. This footage, along with the boys' encounter, suggests that there might be more to these sightings than just imagination or hoaxes. What do you think? Is this footage proof of extraterrestrial presence, or is there another explanation for these strange sightings? In this next footage, you can see something truly extraordinary, a tube of clouds extending from the sky down to the earth. It's an astonishing sight, almost like a celestial pillar connecting the heavens to the ground. The footage shows this tube of clouds slowly forming and descending, creating an ethereal and somewhat eerie visual. It's easy to see why this would spark the imagination and curiosity of anyone who witnesses it. The question is, what could it be? Some people, aka Aaron, believe this phenomenon is alien-related. They suggest that the cloud tube could be a manifestation of advanced extraterrestrial technology, perhaps a method of transportation or communication. The idea of a cloud-like structure being used by aliens fits well within the framework of many UFO theories, where unusual weather patterns or atmospheric phenomena are linked to the presence of alien crafts or activities. On the other hand, there are those who believe this is simply a natural phenomenon. In meteorology, there are several explanations for such occurrences. One possibility is a funnel cloud, which forms as a rotating column of air and condensation. While funnel clouds are typically precursors to tornadoes, not all of them touch down to become tornadoes. Sometimes these funnel clouds can appear quite dramatic and extend from the sky to the ground, resembling a tube of clouds. Which of these do you think is explaining what we're seeing? First of all, would you buy something like this? According to the seller, the chair is haunted, and as you can see, they're even willing to give it away for free. The chair isn't, however, the only thing we've seen being sold like this. At least the chair is free, the others are not. We've come across haunted dolls, demon-attached pendants, and even complete houses being sold and advertised as being haunted. As creepy as that sounds, we've been trying to establish a bit of truth. Can spirits really bind to objects? If they can, how? Some think it's through possession, whereas others feel it's emotional attachment from their past lives. Sometimes they die while holding onto the object they are said to possess. When it comes to houses, the general thinking is that they become stuck with it. You know how we mentioned souls that have been killed or lost their lives tragically in places and become troubled spirits there? Yeah, something like that. But then again, all these are theories. We don't actually have proof that that's the case. But what do you guys think, though? Is it something that's possible? A homeowner was at work when he received a notification about movement in his house. Checking the live feed, he saw a cat standing at the door. Now, here's the weird part. He doesn't own a cat and the house was fully locked, so he reviewed the footage and guess what? The cat literally appeared out of thin air. So clearly this is no ordinary cat. Cats have long been linked to the supernatural, often seen as protectors or omens, both good and bad. So, could it be spiritual or just a hoax? In it, we see orbs, or at least objects that look like them, moving around the sky. As the clip plays, you can see these orbs gliding gracefully through the air, almost as if they have a mind of their own. They appear and disappear, shifting in brightness and size, creating a mesmerizing yet eerie spectacle. Some people believe that these orbs are souls, spirits of the departed wandering the earth. They argue that the ethereal appearance and mysterious movement of the orbs are consistent with paranormal phenomena, often reported in haunted locations and spiritual sightings. Others are more skeptical, suggesting that the orbs could be a result of camera anomalies or natural occurrences. When asked what kind of anomaly, however, they are unable to point one out. Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, on the other hand, believes this could be extraterrestrial activity. What do you think? Back in 2017, this intriguing footage was posted online. Someone on a plane captured a strange-looking craft in the sky, and the video quickly garnered widespread attention. The craft had an odd shape, almost unlike anything typically seen in the skies. What stood out even more was the glowing light trailing behind it, giving it an eerie, otherworldly appearance. The object moved slowly and precisely, as if it were gliding deliberately through the air. Even more interesting was the fact that it didn't react at all to the presence of the plane from which the person was filming. It was as if the craft was completely aware of its surroundings but unfazed by them. Speculation about this sighting has been rampant. Some believe it's a genuine UFO sighting, possibly evidence of extraterrestrial visitors observing our world. Others suggest more conventional explanations, such as advanced military technology being tested or drones. What do you think this could be? As the global waste crisis intensifies, innovative solutions are emerging to address the challenges of disposal and recycling. One such solution comes from Japan, where used diapers are being recycled to create toilet paper. While it may sound unconventional and even questionable at first, the process behind this initiative aims to ensure hygiene and sustainability. The diapers undergo thorough sanitation, shredding, and processing before being transformed into toilet rolls known as shibushi osaki rolls. The idea is to repurpose a challenging waste material into something useful, reducing landfill contributions and promoting eco-conscious practices. What are your thoughts, and would you try it? This peculiar image dates back to 2010 and was taken by a man in Vermont with his wife. Their home was near a sparsely populated wooded area. They had been hearing strange noises from the forest close to their property. Adding to the mystery, something had been eating their apples, so to find the culprit, he set up a trail camera by the apple tree, and this is the baffling result. The image is blurry and indistinct, making it hard to determine what exactly was caught on camera. However, some viewers have speculated that it might depict a mother Bigfoot with a young one clinging to her chest. While that's one of the more popular theories, others believe it could simply be an animal captured at an odd angle. Personally, I find it difficult to discern any clear details, but what do you see? Tucker Carlson recently shared a chilling account that has left many talking. He claims to have been attacked by a demon in the middle of the night, describing it as an unseen force that left claw marks on his body. Stories like these aren't new across the world. Various cultures have long spoken of malevolent entities or demonic forces that interact with humans. Some dismiss these encounters as sleep paralysis or psychological phenomenon, but others believe they're evidence of something beyond our understanding. What's striking is that Tucker Carlson is a well-known public figure, which makes his account somewhat credible. Could there really be unseen forces at work, or is there another explanation for these mysterious events? It's been a while since we've seen footage claiming to capture a Matrix glitch, but take a look at this one. A family was out for a drive when they noticed something bizarre in the sky above a tall building. It was an airplane, but it wasn't moving. The craft was completely frozen in mid-air as if suspended in time. Even as the family drove beneath it and continued past, the plane remained stationary in the sky, not showing any signs of motion. What could explain this strange phenomenon? Is it truly a Matrix glitch, or could it be an optical illusion, a rare atmospheric condition, or something else entirely? What's your take on this? Let's revisit this intriguing event from 2013. A couple went hiking in Mission, British Columbia, when they captured something astonishing on camera. While overlooking the forest, they spotted a massive creature moving below. It wasn't just its size that caught their attention, it was the way it walked. The creature moved on two legs with proportions that didn't resemble a bear or any other known wildlife in the area. When you take a closer look at the footage, it's hard not to draw comparisons to the legendary Bigfoot. Its gait, size, and upright posture seem to match the descriptions we've heard over the years. To be honest, this is one of the most convincing pieces of evidence of Bigfoot, don't you think? A man attending church decided to film the pastor's sermon. As he panned his camera toward a picture of Mary displayed on the church wall, something unusual happened. Captured on video was a small, white, human-like figure walking across the frame in front of the picture. It was quick, almost ghostly, and seemed to vanish just as mysteriously as it appeared. Now, here's where the debate begins. Many viewers are skeptical, calling it a hoax, pointing out the coincidences of the camera panning at just the right time to catch the figure. Others believe it could be something supernatural, a divine sign, or a spirit making its presence known. What do you think? Right off the bat, we start with something Aaron, our in-house conspiracy theorist, has been dying for you to see. Oh, not literally, but you get the idea. Not sure if you noticed it, but if you were paying attention to the capture, a dark gray cloud, or at least something that looks like it descended from the sky towards the car before changing direction and moving towards the woods. The individual who uploaded this clip online believes it may be some paranormal entity, but after watching the clip for a while, well, I'm not exactly sure if that's what we're dealing with here. Julius, our in-house science whiz, believes it's poor video editing based on how the thing looks, and some members of the team, well, aren't having it. Let's just say the team is divided on what this might be. You've seen the clip. What do you think we're dealing with here? Let's hear your thoughts in the comment section. Human trafficking is one of the most distressing issues of our time, and despite years of awareness campaigns and efforts to stop it, the problem continues to grow alarmingly. Every year, millions of children and adults are trafficked worldwide, pulled into horrifying networks that are widespread as they're difficult to dismantle. While some operations are uncovered and stopped, the trafficking networks operate with frightening efficiency, spreading like an unstoppable disease. In certain impoverished regions, the situation is even more heart-wrenching. Parents, driven by desperation, may sell their children in exchange for money or material goods they could never otherwise afford. This tragic reality is especially prevalent in some communities across Africa, India, and other economically disadvantaged areas. What's even more concerning is the role of developed nations like America, which remains one of the largest consumers of trafficking operations. The demand fuels the supply, perpetuating this cycle of exploitation and despair. One harrowing example involves a man who, while driving home, noticed a suspicious van in front of him. His instincts told him something wasn't right, so he followed the vehicle at a safe distance and called the police. When authorities arrived and inspected the van, they made a grim discovery: people being trafficked inside. Traffickers often rely on ordinary citizens ignoring suspicious activities, and it's up to all of us to remain aware, report unusual behavior, and educate ourselves about the signs of human trafficking. Together, we can take small but impactful steps towards eradicating this inhumane practice. This chilling story comes from a ranch in Utah where locals reported hearing unsettling screams resembling a woman's voice echoing through the area. Determined to investigate, a man went out with his camera in 2004 only to capture something truly unnerving. In the grainy footage, he spotted a creature moving on all fours in the field. At first glance, it seemed like an animal, and then it did something that sent shivers down his spine. The creature rose on its two legs and stretched its neck to look directly at him, its movement eerily human-like. This terrified the man so much that he fled the scene. Many who have seen the footage speculate that this might be a skinwalker. These beings mimic human forms and voices to lure unsuspecting victims. While some dismiss the video as a hoax or misidentified animal behavior, others believe it's a skinwalker. Someone in the comments section of the original post did share a unique view, however. He mentions that many animals are capable of briefly standing on their hind legs, and this is what might have been going on with this creature. But what do you think? Let's take a closer look at this intriguing piece of footage that allegedly shows a Bigfoot moving through a snowy landscape. Although the video is quite shaky, you can clearly see the creature moving through the snow that reaches up to its knees. Notice how effortlessly it walks. This is impossible for a human dressed in a costume. This footage, known as the Snow Walker footage, was originally recorded in 1992 but surfaced to the public in 1996 as part of a comprehensive Bigfoot documentary. While many skeptics claim that this footage is staged or manipulated, some believe it is genuine. What are your thoughts?
Ahí está, mira, ahí está de vuelta, apareció. No sé qué carajo está haciendo.
In June, a resident in Lima, Peru, shared this remarkable clip which features a glowing object in the sky during sundown. Normally, you'd expect stars to start appearing at this time, but this was definitely not a star. The object blinked rapidly for a while before slowing down to a much slower blink. This glowing object wasn't stationary either. It seemed to move slightly, though it mostly stayed in one place until the footage came to an end. Most people who have seen the video believe this is a UFO, sparking a lot of excitement and speculation. Some argue it's a drone, a satellite, or even some atmospheric phenomenon. The way the object changed its blinking pattern, its slight movement, make it particularly intriguing. But what are your thoughts? Could this be a genuine UFO sighting, or is there a more conventional explanation? A man was hiking through the woods when he noticed something moving through the trees. At first he thought it might be a deer or maybe a bear, but as he got closer, he realized it was something entirely different. The creature is tall, standing at least 6 or 7 feet high. Its body is covered in thick, dark fur, and it moves with a strange, almost fluid grace. Its head is unmistakably canine with sharp ears and a long snout, but its posture and the way it stands on 2 legs are completely unnatural for any animal you know. It walked through the woods with a purposeful stride, pausing occasionally to look around. Dogmen have been reported for centuries, with sightings mainly concentrated in the United States. They often describe them as having the body of a man, the head of a wolf, or a large dog. Unlike werewolves, which are typically associated with transformations and full moons, dogmen are usually thought of as separate natural species, if they exist at all. So what do you think? Do we really have a dogman on our hands, or is it someone just playing games? Humans often discuss the pressing crisis of climate change and environmental degradation, yet we overlook how our actions are continually exacerbating these issues. This scene, for example, shows a once pristine mountain area now buried under heaps of trash and even human waste. Despite the efforts of individuals in protective suits working to clean up the mess, the task is daunting, especially in such a remote and challenging environment. Shockingly, this location is none other than Mount Everest. Once revered as the crown jewel of nature, it's now become a glaring symbol of human neglect. Visitors and climbers leave behind litter as if the natural beauty of this iconic peak holds no value, transforming it into what looks like a refuse dump instead of a majestic wonder. So, while humans fight for survival against crisis, we're often the creators of the very dangers we face. How can we protect the Earth if we keep treating it like this? Just in case you were wondering what this is, it's Waldo, the advanced surveillance system concept often associated with military or intelligence operations. It typically refers to a highly sophisticated system that integrates artificial intelligence, facial recognition, and real-time data processing to monitor and track individuals or objects across large areas. The name Waldo is sometimes metaphorically derived from the game Where's Waldo, emphasizing its ability to locate specific individuals in crowded or complex environments. The Waldo surveillance system, like similar advanced technologies, integrates AI, real-time data processing, facial recognition, and predictive analytics to monitor and track individuals, often for public safety or military purposes. While it offers benefits like crime prevention, search and rescue, and national security, it raises significant ethical concerns. These include privacy erosion, potential misuse by authoritarian regimes, racial and gender biases in AI, and the chilling effect on freedoms of expression and assembly. To put it in perspective, Waldo can extract vast amounts of information by linking facial recognition to databases, tracking cell phones via GPS, Wi-Fi, or cell towers, and even intercepting communications or metadata like call logs and texting habits. They can analyze behavior patterns, predict future movements, and map social networks to cross-referencing interactions. Scary, right? To balance its utility and ethics, strong regulations, transparency, bias mitigation, and strict data protection are essential, ensuring it serves society without infringing on fundamental rights. A man decided to set up cameras around his house because his backyard bordered a dense forest and he wanted to make sure he was safe and had all eyes on the areas of his property. The setup was perfect for keeping tabs on any movements around his home. Usually, he would get notifications on his phone whenever there was movement detected. Most of the time, it was harmless, people passing by or animals wandering out of the woods. These notifications had become a regular part of his routine. However, one night, things took a chilling turn. His phone buzzed incessantly, indicating multiple movements. What caught his attention even more was the notification from the camera in the kitchen, which was unusual. Feeling uneasy, yet curious, he decided to check the footage. As he watched, his heart started to race. From behind some bushes in the backyard, a pale head suddenly popped up. The creature seemed to be crouched low, its glowing eyes piercing through the darkness, staring directly into the camera. The sight was unnerving. The way it moved, the eerie glow of its eyes, and the strange, almost human-like head sent shivers down his spine. He couldn't shake the feeling that whatever it wasn't just passing by. What do you think this creature could be? Now here we go with the word I can't say. Pareidolia, paradola, paradilia. But that's cool, right? That's cool. That looks like the head of a Tyrannosaurus. I mean, everybody's been saying for such a long time, oh man, that looks like a croc, that animals, certain animals could just be petrified rocks, or petrified animals could be rocks. I mean, look at that, man. But then again, people are turning around and saying it's quite possible that all dinosaurs were actually dragons, so who knows? But man, that looks cool as hell, right? Can you imagine if these rocks were actually real live animals at some point? Or you could say some kind of magic word and they'd automatically just come to life. I mean, that's the head of a turtle, right? And that's an elephant, a huge, huge elephant. I like that. That's very cool. We come to the end of another episode of Classified Captures. Now, before I faint from the heat, I'm just gonna say this. If you got any videos, you got any pictures, you got anything at all that you want to tell us, classifiedcaptures@gmail.com. And as per usual, I will be reading the comments. So if you got anything to say to me that's cool, let me know. Just still think I'm AI. I've been Steve, this has been Classified Captures. Now I'm getting the hell out of here because this studio is like a sauna. Share this with everybody that you love and I will see you in the next one.